Hello everyone, welcome back to this another informative grammar video lesson. Today what we are going to learn is simple present tense. As I mentioned earlier in the previous video, in English totally there are 12 types of tenses. But in today's lesson, we are going to learn all about simple present tense in a detailed way. Alright, so basically we could use tenses to talk about time. All right, we tend to talk things about the present, the past, and the future almost all the time. So, in what way we talk? Of course, we use tenses. However, if we know when to use the right tense at the right time, we can talk powerfully and confidently. Today's lesson is all about simple present tense. Now, when could you use simple present tense? But before we begin, let's remember the formula. Have a look at the first point. So, what is the formula of simple present tense? The basic one. So, the sentence structure of simple present tense would be V1. So, that's the important point that you should keep it in mind as well. And the next important thing that you should keep it in mind is that simple present tense can be used to talk about regular habitual actions. So, that's the first important thing, and it is used to talk about universal truth. And the next important thing is it is used to talk about facts. Now let's talk about regular habitual actions. Now, what do I mean by regular habitual actions? Let me explain. If I say I get up early in the morning, just look at the first example sentence. So that's actually a regular habitual actions. Am I right? So look again. I get up early in the morning. So I have used the present form of the verb get, if you notice the word. However, if I say she gets up early in the morning, I have to add yes to the main verb. So the reason, because if the subject is he, she, it, we should add yes or es. So that's the important rule that you have to remember all the time. So one more example would be, we go to Kashmir every month. Every summer. So going to Kashmir every summer is a routine activity. Alright. So that's why I used the present form of the verb here. Moving on to the next important thing. So simple present tense can be used to talk about universal truth. So what do I mean by universal truth over here? Just to look at these example sentences. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. The sun rises in the east. The earth moves around the sun. So these are all universal truth. Scientific principle. Am I right? So here I have used the verb freezes, rises, moves. So that's the present form of the verb. So absolutely it is a simple present tense. So simple present tense can be used to talk about regular habitual actions, universal truth, and the next important thing, the third important use that you can keep it in mind is that simple present tense can also be used to talk about facts. Say for example, the rose smells sweet. The girl is very smart. I am a teacher. Alright. So when it comes to facts, it could be anything like people or things. So remember these three uses of simple present tense. Now what we do is, let's do a quick review of what we have learned as of now. So simple present tense can be used to talk about habitual actions or events, to express universal truth or scientific principle maybe, and to describe facts. So it can be people or things, anything. So, and one more crucial thing that you always remember is that the verb structure of this tense would be V1. Now, let's learn how to form simple present tense in a detailed way. Are you ready? So, what I did is I have divided this into three sections. So, what are they? Positive forms, negative forms, and question forms. So we will go through each one step by step as well. First of all, let's talk about positive forms. Now, what is the formula of simple present tense? Of course, V1, right? Well, that's why we're going to apply now. First, what you are going to do is, you just look at the left side corner. What do you see? You could see I, we, you, they, he, see, it, isn't it? So they are all subject. If you don't know what it means, I will give link in the description box. You could learn that. Well, coming to the point, let's take a simple sentence, a really simple sentence. And the sentence is, I eat bread. Now apply the formula. I eat bread, we eat bread, you eat bread, they eat bread, he eats bread, she eats bread, it eats bread. Now, the thing that you have to remember here is that as per grammatical point of view, I, we, you, they, you have to apply V1. For he, she, it, what you have to do is you have to add yes or es. Alright, I hope you understood. Let's go to the negative form. I do not eat bread. We do not eat bread. You do not eat bread. They do not eat bread. He does not eat bread. She does not eat bread. It does not eat bread. So what happens in negative forms basically? When we use negative forms, we use do not, or we could shorten it. Let's say don't. Alright. So here for I, we, you, they, we have to use do not. And for he, she, it, we use does not, or you can contract it like doesn't. Alright. So let's go through it. For I, we, you, they, what you have to do? You have to use do not or don't. And for he, she, it, what you have to do? You have to use doesn't or does not. Alright. So I hope you got it. So remember, for he, she, it, it's always going to be a little different. Now moving on to the next one, and that would be question forms. Just a minute. Okay, now just look at the question forms. Do I eat bread? Do we eat bread? Do you eat bread? Do they eat bread? Does he eat bread? Does she eat bread? Does it eat bread? In simple present tense, whenever we form questions, what we have to do is add the helping word do before the subject. Alright. When it comes to he, she, it, all you have to do is use does. Alright. Let's go through it. For I, we, you, they, what you have to do? You have to say do plus subject plus V1. But for he, she, it, what you have to do? You have to use does plus subject plus V1. Now what are subjects? I, we, you, they, he, she, it. These are all subjects. I mean all nouns and pronouns. They are all belong to the category of subjects. Alright. Now what we are going to learn is, we are going to learn keywords. Yes. So these are the keywords that you can use when it comes to simple present tense. So it will be really useful for students to write exams as well. Now what are the keywords that you have to use when it comes to simple present tense? Have a look at these keywords over here. Usually, as usual, generally, in general, always, rarely, seldom, daily, weekly, monthly, and every day, often, frequently, sometimes, regularly, nowadays, every time, normally, never, once or twice in a week, maybe thrice. Alright. So these are the things that you have to remember always. Please note down this. As always, let's do a quick review. Are you ready? So what is the point number 1 we have learned? The verb structure of simple present tense would be V1. Okay, do you remember? And the next thing is, simple present tense can be used to describe daily routine activities, universal truth, and all kinds of facts. And what is the third point that you should keep it in mind? We divided this into 3 forms. What are they? Positive forms, negative forms, question forms. And when talking about positive forms, just look at the 4th point. When talking about positive forms, let's say I jump, all you can do is for I, we, you, they, what you have to do? You have to use without yes. And for he, she, it, what you have to do? You have to use with yes. Maybe sometimes with es. Say for example, I jump, we jump, you jump, they jump, he jumps, she jumps, it jumps. I hope you got it. And what is the point number 5th? When talking about negative forms, we have to add the helping word do after the subject. Like I do not jump, we do not jump, you do not jump, they do not jump, he does not jump, she does not jump, it does not jump, or it doesn't jump. Moving on to the point number 6, When using question form in simple present tense, add the helping word do before the subject. Let's say, do I jump? Do we jump? Do you jump? Do they jump? Does he jump? Does she jump? Does it jump? So for I, we, you, they, all you can do is you have to use the helping word do, and for he, she, it, you have to add the helping word does before the subject. So moving on to the last point, and that is keywords. Generally, usually, normally, every day, every week, things like that. So now remember these 7 points as always when it comes to simple present tense. So this was all about simple present tense. Keep practicing in a constant manner. I hope you have got it clearly. I will be back with another informative video lesson. Until then, you stay motivated. Thank you.